Hi, I'm Mike Chesworth from Starts at 60. And I'm here today with Felicity Duffy from Westpac, and we're talking about bereavement. Not only is it a really emotional time when you're grieving for the loss of a loved one, but it becomes a logistical time as well, because you're trying to work out who do you contact, how do you contact them, what documentation you need, what are the funeral plans, and then you've got to start looking at some of the financial details as well. Felicity, that last piece, how do you start that process and how can the bank help me when this happens?
Look, Mike, I think we recognise it's an incredibly emotional time for our customers and our customers' families. And we really encourage people to come in and start to have a conversation with the bank. One of the things that's often challenging is how we're going to fund a funeral or a memorial service. And we can absolutely help with that straight away.
You can help with that straight away, but do I have to bring in a whole lot of documentation for you to do that?
Good point, very important. We will. We need to be able to identify you as a person who can act on behalf of the deceased. So that would mean that you're either a next of kin or an executor, and we would need to have your documentation to be able to recognise that. We also need to have the documentation that sadly recognises the passing of the individual, like a death certificate, and good to have that, a number of those copies kind of certified, and because you'll need them for a number of different organisations.
Not just the bank?
Not just the bank.
Okay. Well, what happens to my accounts? So if someone passes away, what happens to the accounts?
So it would depend upon what sort of accounts you've got. If it's an individual account, and once we know and have proof of the person being deceased, then we will freeze those accounts and while we work through with you in regard to the management of the estate. If it's a joint account, and you are the other person on the joint account, we will be able to remove the details of the deceased, and you'll be able to continue to have access to the account as normal.
And where do I find this information? Can I just go into a branch, or is there websites?
Yeah, so look, we recognise that it is a trying time, so there's a few different things that I'd suggest. One is to absolutely go online. We've created a sort of a hub of information to help through this, sort of checklists on what are you going to need to do, who are you going to need to contact, what documentation are you going to need in order to have those conversations. But then we encourage people to come in and have a conversation with us. One of the reasons for that, Mike, is many people find themselves in financial hardship within the first 12 months of dealing with a death. And we really want to be able to make sure that we can help people in those situations through that.
Try to take at least one of those pressures off
Correct.
the individual.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Look, that's great. So it's around when you get the time, or when it happens, you're going to have to go in and identify or talk to the bank. But you can do some pre-work yourself in your own time. And then to be able to go in, talk to the bank, and they're going to help you through this process, and probably for the next 12 months continue to help you through the process.
That's right.
That's great.